always way too loud. And for you a little bit as well.
Unleash yourself.
Yeah, but it works like this. It's way better. But hey, it doesn't matter. I'm with you guys in Utrecht today with the guys of Crossfaith.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Netherlands.
Yeah. This is Ken from Crossfaith. I'm a singer.
I play bass for the band, Hiro. Yeah.
Yes, like we had a day off yesterday in Utrecht, and yes, I saw the city, and which is pretty nice and beautiful.
It isn't the first time in Holland, is it?
No, this is a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to have ramen.
Yeah.
Try the Netherlands.
Yeah, fake ramen, but
Come on.
but you know, which
We can't do
that's
that.
what it
thing.
is.
That's how it goes. Now, welcome. I mean, it's amazing to have you in this podcast and that we can talk about mostly the crossover because
Yeah.
I was just researching it again. I wrote about you guys, I think, a little bit less than 1.5 years ago.
Sorry?
Somewhere, I write about you, a review
Okay.
about the Wipeout EP,
Okay. Yeah.
and that was beginning of 2018.
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys exist for so much longer.
Yeah.
Why is it that I didn't hear of you before? I think it's my fault, but yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're from Japan, and I don't know. It's still like hard to let's say like spread ourselves to the world, because we are now still based in Japan, and but like we spend a lot of time outside Japan as well. So like it's kind of like, how to say, like sneaking from the world maybe.
But you do cross over a couple of times already, so it's not Europe isn't new for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like touring in Europe is more familiar for us and for me. And yes, like sometimes like I really wanted to be outside of Japan, because like staying in the same place is kind of boring for me. And touring in Europe is more free for us. Like we had a day off, and we're having like 2 of us, and spend all day with our music and our friends, like such as like Of Mice and Man and a Brief from Within. Like fortunately, our first outside of Japan tour was back in 2012 in the UK, and at the time, like the lineup was literally like this, like Of Mice and Man. Like we support them, and with Barry Tomorrow, and we were hanging out with them at Avocado Festival in Belgium. So yeah, like it's good to be back here with our best friends.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. When I listened to your EP Wipeout and after that Ex Machina,
Ex Machina, yeah.
For me it was like, the crossover that you make between metal, hip hop,
Electronic, yeah.
It's fresh, it's new.
Thank you.
As I said, you exist for a long time already, but it's new for the Europeans because most of the times it was just straight up symphonic metal or black metal, and all just in a genre, and that's it. But you cross over the music so well.
Yeah.
How does that came up for you? Is that something that, because I listened to the old CDs,
All the stuff, yeah.
and it was there already a bit, but not like it's now.
But basically, like we all love to hear like any kind of genre music, which is cool. And yes, like I was a big fan, and I'm a big fan of the Chemical Brothers since when I was like high school student. And like we grew up, we've been growing up with like not just rock music. So I think that's the main reason why. And yes, our DJ Teru, he can make like electronic sounds, and also like we always digging the new music, and so that's why we put some harder style of electronic, like with our music. So yes, like I don't know, but I think we are super always like enjoying to exploring new music and add them to our music. Yeah.
But for you guys, it's also running around on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
You with your bass, going everywhere.
Yeah.
Tonight is a little bit smaller
Huh?
space.
Kinda, yeah.
Already claimed your spot.
Yeah, like sometimes like I prefer smaller stage than the festival because it's more, I say, like real. You know what I mean? Like
It's gonna be sweaty tonight.
yeah, definitely. And yes, like I love this venue. Yeah, we've done before a couple times this venue, and
Yeah, Tivoli de Helling, where we are right now, it's an amazing place.
yes,
To be. And it's nice to have a smaller room as well. That you only not only have the biggest stages in the city, but also the smaller ones. But for you as a bass player,
Yeah.
how does it work if it's so much electronic and so much drum that you hear? How can you be on top of that?
Like I like I have been like aiming, put the not just like lower sounds, like always put like some distortion sounds and for mix with the guitar, and yeah, like we've been doing it.
You find your ways through the sound that already is there, or do you lay the bass sounds as first? How do you make the music? Is that
we have
from the writing skills first, or is it becoming from the music part?
yeah. Writing process first mainly, and like our main songwriter, the our DJ Teru and guitarist Kaz, and Teru always like bring like whole song, and like we put like our texture and yeah. So like I think like for the bass, it's kind of like I don't know, like it's always like how to say exploring like new stuff to like fit the bass sound to our new music. So
Yeah.
it's kind of same for me. Like we like at the start like our music style was I would say like in the center of metalcore. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and but after that like we've been growing up and we've been trying like new things and new types of songs, so that's why I started like singing clean vocal and for music as well. So like always like finding new things and at the same time like we really needed to let's say grow ourselves as well. That's so like if we didn't do like exploring new things from myself, then we stopped to making music. So like we always need to be focused on making music.
That's always good to hear. And with if you didn't listen to the old albums, for the people that are listening to it, you can hear you evolve through the albums. Of
Yeah.
course, some bands are just making every time the same album, put a different name on it. But for you guys, it's just like going every time to a new step. I watched the video earlier today because I had to remind myself why is it so big, and then I saw the vocals. You are with 3 people that are singing on stage, and that gives an extra layer as well, an extra full. But when you grunt, it's with 2, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes
When what?
when you grunt, when you scream,
Grunt? What do you mean?
scream when you scream.
Ah, I scream. Yeah.
You do that with 2 people. Sometimes,
For the live?
yeah.
Me and Terry, yeah.
Yeah.
But mainly me.
Yeah. That gives also an extra layer. But all the things that are happening on stage, it's something that we in Europe, of course, saw a couple of times, but not with the mix that you bring, the energy that you bring. Is it something that you had to learn in Japan as well, because you were the first to do that, or were there already examples in your home country that are
To go outside Japan?
no,
Or
to do it in Japan,
to
to be this energetic on stage, this big on stage, having,
yeah,
because
I think that's true because like you know like I've been growing up with Western music and especially like metalcore stuff, like Slipknot and Overspon's Red, Under Oath. Like my favorite bands doing a like really energetic live on the stage. I think that's why like we like how to say always put 100% energy on the stage, and just how to say like our style. And if we cannot like burn 100% after the set, like I we always like like we how to say like
Still some energy left that's not
yeah,
should be there. Yeah.
and which is not a good thing for us.
But you already named Slipknot for an example.
Uh-huh.
They know how to play a stage. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
so much decoration and so much stuff to bring.
Mhm.
They just released the new album. It's amazing as well.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, oh yeah, Slipknot.
Slipknot. No, but for you guys, is that when you make your music, it's not like it's commercial or something.
Mhm.
It's not like it has to be on the top of the charts in Europe or maybe the States. Does it give you a freedom for the writing or for the making the music more of your own?
Yeah, like
Some metal bands just write because they want to be on the top of the chart.
yeah, it's like it's hard because you know, like we sometimes we really needed to read in the between, you know, in betweens, like how do I say, like, because I listen to top chart as well, and like I love pop music and I love like metal music and dance music, so like it's kind of hard to express like how we think about writing for like how to say like for a lot of the audience, or just like focus on like metalheads or like the people who really loves like digging music, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, but like I guess like we should be like stable, like for our audience, like our fans. So like the most important thing is we shouldn't I say like disappoint our fans, like with our music. So like yeah, that's kind of like motivation for me to writing music.
And the album is performing really well. The fans love it. You already played a lot of festivals.
Yeah.
With it. What's coming after this? Because you're gonna tour right now Europe with this 3-band evening.
After this tour?
After this tour, yeah.
We're going back to Japan, and then we will be Australia to support the Amity Affliction.
Okay.
Their headline tour, which is massive, like arena stuff. And then we will come back to Japan. Then we're gonna have our headlining tour. And
but that's also arenas, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's an arena, but yeah, it's quite big. And like we. Like the lineup is Crossfaith and Atreyu from the States, and the Empty Affliction.
Okay.
And two Japanese bands, Noisemaker and a Paledusk. Yes. Then we're gonna back to writing music.
So that's 1.5 year, 2 years run with music again.
Yeah.
Playing live, and then back to the writing and studio part.
Yeah, that's our life, pretty much.
I don't know if you know this, but in the Netherlands and I think most of Europe at this moment, there is a big, how do you say it? A lot of people are liking the J-pop and K-pop music. They're selling up stadiums here right now. It's like, okay, that happened. In the metal scene, it's never been a big rise of something. It's always growing slowly, and some things like metalcore came up a few years ago. Some big names of there already grew to headlining spots and stuff like that. And before that, you had the symphonic metal and stuff like that. How does it go? And because I have no clue, how does it go in Japan? What is this a big? It's stupid to name it like this, but it pops up in my mind. What's big in Japan? Sorry to say that.
Right now,
like that way.
K-pop is big in Japan as well. And yeah, but like Japanese rock music scene is quite complicated because how to say it? Like yeah, rock music is quite big in Japan, but
Rock music like you make, or rock
no,
yeah.
not like us.
Okay.
Yeah, like yes, of course, like most of Japanese bands sing in Japanese and playing less heavier, less heavy than us, and then like they played arena. I think it's kind of same like with every other countries, but metal scene is it's not big like this. It's not big like in Europe, and I don't know.
It's not big in Europe. Sorry to say, but
Oh really?
it's
But
like
you guys have
we
like a lot of festival like metal
yeah,
festivals.
yeah, exactly. But that grew 20 years ago or something.
Uh huh.
A little bit, maybe a bit earlier, and it's stayed steady. It's not like it's growing bigger. I mean, most like Wakker you of course know, and Graspop you played, 4 days, something like that. That's fine,
Uh-huh.
but it's not like there's a lot of new audience or bands reaching the charts to the top 10 positions or
yeah.
something. But if it's if you look at in the scene in Holland at least. We grew out of how do you say, the rock bands, and now it's more hip hop. So hip hop dominates the chart in Holland.
Yeah,
I
hip
think
hop is new rock. Yeah.
yeah, it's 20,
Someone said.
20 of the 40 tracks are hip hop. It's like going really fast. But crossovers, it's not there much. It's still like that's hip hop, that's pop, that's dance music, and those three are leading the charge. And sometimes you have a rock, really good rock track, but metal is never in there. When you're in Japan, is it how much can you tour? I mean, in Holland, you have every city has its own spot to
Yeah.
perform. But is it the same in Japan?
Yeah, it's same. We have 47 states in Japan, and like some bands doing like whole states tour. Like sometimes they do in touring in Japan, like every single states, and we've never done before. But yes, like
So 47 shows.
yeah.
That's a nice run.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a long tour. So
Yeah.
and you know, like we like spend like half of a year for outside the touring outside of Japan. So like it's hard to doing like Japanese band, but yeah, like we have a lot of like venue. Not maybe like this.
But like this is perfect. I mean,
Yeah, but
not for
like
you because you grew out of that already. But yeah,
but the music scene is like yeah, like top Japanese band is more like pop music, and then you know the heavy music scene, it's been growing up and getting bigger, and because our close friends band they have own festival, and like a lot of people came to their festival, like over 10,000, and but at the same time, like every single like heavy music festival, the same lineup, and you know, same kind of shit. So like it's kind of boring for me, and I think that will be a problem for Japanese rock music scene, because people always like trying to find a new things, and that's the reason why like hip hop music like getting bigger very quick in Japan as well. So I think now rock music in Japan is less excitement than like 20 years ago. I think that's just like main problem. I guess.
okay. You just said it. Playing no festivals in Japan, metal festivals also always have the same lineup. Also, is a problem, of course, of touring bands, because if you only can do one show in Japan, it's
Yeah.
not like profitable. So so you need to do more sometimes as a European or States band. But you have locals. local bands. For you, it's local. For me, it's foreign, of course. But yeah, can you name both of you name a band you want to plug in this podcast that people should listen to?
Okay, to plug like to the next artist.
No, just what are your favorite bands or friends of yours that are playing in a band that you want to give a little spot on this podcast so people can go listen to them? I will link it below in the show notes. But you can name
for like our friends.
Yeah.
Paledusk.
Oh yeah.
We'll bring them to our event, like he mentioned before, to our event, and they are like still really young, but like doing like their upload is kind of rare in Japan, like because like their songs and like music videos and like merchandise or those output kind of really close from the like world standard, so. Yeah, like it's really rare in Japan. Like it always like Japanese rock is Japanese rock. Like always like there's a way how they approach to the market. So but like they approach is kind of world standard, and I really respect that. Like they're still young but trying to do that way, so
to get into the market and grow as well.
Yeah, and they definitely have ambition to be outside of Japan. Yeah.
So that's good. Paledusk.
Paledusk. Yeah.
Paledusk.
Okay, I'm gonna link that below in the show notes.
Yes, and the song's called No.
No. Okay. We will research it in a few and Spotify, and I will plug that in the show notes. Maybe just before we end this up. One other question that comes into my mind: singing in English.
Yeah.
Is that a big step? I mean, most of the Dutch people speak English, but I can understand that in Japan it's mostly your own language. But when you want to go to a broader audience, it almost need to be in English. Is that a big step for you as a writer and singer?
Yeah, it's.
Sorry, it's not a base question. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, of course. Like I'm still struggling write lyrics in English, but like I told you, like I've been growing up with Western music, and I think that's the main reason. And also like we want to be an international band, so that's the reason why I like picked English to sing. But yes, it's very natural for me because like I've never write lyrics in Japanese, so
So the first words you wrote as a lyrics were in English already.
Yeah. But like our time, my English was totally broken. But yes, like sometimes like I asked someone to fix my lyrics,
of course,
to correct, and but I'm really enjoying it because it's exploring as well,
As a bass player, you don't have that problem. It's easy. You can do your own stuff.
Yeah,
different power voltage.
No, but that's easy, of course. But when you didn't cross to Europe or to the States, did you speak English already then? So you had to learn on the road.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But that's a nice road to have, to learning.
That's how we survive.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, it's for me it's so common to speak English. Most of the times I speak English and I speak less Dutch because most of my friends are from other countries.
Yeah.
And we have one rule: everyone speaks English. That's way easier. But I can understand if you're surrounded by only one language, it's difficult to get that as well. And when you get on the road as an artist, it's difficult to make contact to other people if you don't speak language that they understand. But I mean, you've been on the road for so long already.
Yeah,
it's getting easier every time, I guess.
Yeah, so it's good opportunity for us, like to speak in English, and in Japan there's no opportunity, so
So now you're starting to learn Dutch.
Probably. Can you tell me some good phrase on the stage?
Oh, let's not do that on the podcast.
Okay.
No, I will say
Okay.
after that. No, I think we should finish up. I mean, you need to get ready.
Yeah.
You're gonna perform in not all that long. So have fun tonight.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Have fun during this tour because it just started. So yeah, you have time enough to do more.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And for having me here in
Thanks, Rick.
the Tivoli
Yeah.
Utrecht. I'm gonna watch the show tonight. I
Yeah,
bring
of
my
course.
camera, so I'm gonna try to make some pictures for
Right.
the people that are looking forward to the pictures as well. They are on my page, of course. And I want to thank you for listening. And we go up to the next directly after this one. So there are gonna be 3 podcasts in 2 days. So thank you for listening, and hear you next one.
Thank you.
See ya, Rick.